Peggy 16.
You're watching Battlefield Bootcamp. This episode I'm joined by Addison, and today we're going to be discussing the support class. So Addison, the support class is a personal favourite of mine. It's one of the most flexible classes in the game in my opinion. What do you think is a good standard setup for a support class?
Well, personally, myself, I don't actually use any of the support weapons. I know, controversial, right? I use the all-kit weapons, and the reason is it gives me better mobility than all the heavy, light machine guns and things like that. The reason why I choose the support class is for the equipment. So I love the mortar, I love the C4 and the Claymore. But you yourself, you use more of the support weapons, don't you?
Yeah, I'm very much an LMG kind of guy. If I'm not packing the C4 or the Claymore, I will always have my LMG by my side. I mean, the LMGs have such a wide role. You can kind of use them quite assaulty, like the L85A2, which uses a foregrip, a suppressor and a holographic. So not only can I suppress the enemies, I can be quite aggressive and join my assault squad mates at the front. You've then got stuff like the M60, which is probably the heaviest LMG you can get. Stick a bipod on that, lie somewhere nice like on Operation Metro on one of the railway lines, and you will knock down anyone that comes for you. And also you can take down helicopters with them. You can quite easily shoot out the pilot. So for me, the LMG is a fantastic gun, be it through suppression, destruction, or just causing a pain in their backside.
And well, to be honest, there is something I do miss out on not using the LMGs. You see those clips all the time where people run up behind huge trains of people on Metro and they've managed to flank and they've got the magazine size. You don't get that with any other gun. 250 bullets just to plow and not having to reload. So yeah, I suppose I do miss out on that, not using the support.
Well, exactly. I mean, you can kind of give the impression that there's more than one person there. If you're being attacked and you're trying to defend a position, if you just spray at the enemy, they're going to keep their head down, not only because they don't want to die, but once again, that suppression mechanic that we get in the game, which I personally quite like. I try and take advantage of it quite often. But of course, as you mentioned, a lot of the strength in the support class isn't necessarily the gun they have, but in the C4 and the Claymores. Now, have you got a few examples on when they're really good to use?
Yeah, for example, against any heavy armor. And I would say in close quarters. So in a situation like, say, for example, strike at Karkan. Say you're playing Rush, strike at Karkan. Those first two MCOMs, it's set onto two separate streets, but the buildings around them, they're very close quarters combat. If you were to just stick in those buildings, it's going to be a few seconds movement either side, and you're on one of the streets. It only takes you a few seconds to get to where the tank is going to be. So I think that's where the C4, for example, is really useful. In a close quarters engagement where it isn't going to take you too long to get to the enemy. That's where I think the C4 fails, basically, when you're sprinting and sprinting towards a tank, and all they have to do is aim and take you out. So yeah, if you see a tank, maybe try and put cover between yourself and then run to that cover and then edge out, see the distance, and then judge if you've got enough time to run.
So what specific tips do you have for putting C4 on a tank and getting away in one piece?
Well, it's different to, say, things like rockets, where you do different amount of damage from where the rocket hits. It doesn't matter where you place the C4. As long as you get 2 or 3, you're going to at least get a disable, and with 3 you're good to get a kill, no matter what. What I then do is I spin around, and as long as the tank isn't travelling towards me, so if it's stood still or travelling away from me, what I then do is I sprint jump, so it's sort of like a tiny, very quick reaction. Straight after the sprint, I jump, and then as soon as I've landed, I know I'm further enough away that I can then hit the trigger and it'll instantly blow up without damaging myself.
No, it's good. I mean, personally, when I'm going to engage a tank, as you said, I like to put cover between myself and the enemy, but a good thing is look where the turret's looking and keep an eye on if they've got a support gunner. Because if they can't see you, you're well away. So C4 isn't just a tank driver's worst nightmare. In Rush, it can be used for more devious uses.
Yeah, of course, you can stick a few C4s on each MCOM and just wait for them to be armed or wait for somebody to approach them and blow them up. You can also stand on top of buildings and drop them down from above, and people just have no idea that that's happening. And then the extension of that is not just for Rush, but game modes like TDM, Team Deathmatch. You can use a spawn beacon and just fly over the enemy and drop down C4, and you get 6 with explosive squad specialization on. Fly over a place where the enemy are congregating, and then all you have to do is just drop 6 C4s over the big enemy groups, and you get a lot of points that way.
Death from above.
Yep, death from above, totally.
Well, it's called support class for a reason. Why is that?
Yes, the main use of the support class is obviously to throw down ammo. Throw down ammo everywhere you go, basically. Throw it on teammates who are stood still. As soon as they fire and reload, you're going to get points. You're going to, give them ammo. Also, a quick tip is, if you're the support class, look for the people with a little ammo, like sort of symbol above their head and below their name. What happens is, as soon as somebody reloads and they don't have full ammo, that box appears above them, so you know that they need ammo. And especially look out for those little boxes that are flashing. They'll actually also appear on your minimap as well, so even if somebody isn't in your line of sight, you can still find them, find where they are. And those are the people that are calling for ammo, so they desperately need the ammo. So go and give it to them, make that your top priority. And
of course, another way you can support your team is by stopping, flanking and choke points using the Claymores.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's really effective in game modes like Close Quarters or Rush or Team Deathmatch, where you can place the Claymore just round the corner or just round, like you were saying, at a choke point or a high traffic area. Yeah, Claymores are pretty devastating. The thing is with Claymores though, they disappear as soon as you die, so you've got to be careful when placing them.
Well, luckily I don't plan on dying when I put them down, they're there for a reason, but a little trick I do like to do, put down an ammo box, stick a Claymore in it. An enemy's going to run in, they're not going to see it, they might think they're going to get a little treat, instead they're going to be seeing the respawn screen.
Very cheeky, good tactic.
And on that note, that's all we've got time for. We'll see you next time on Battlefield Bootcamp.